Robert Perez, Bob Perez, he's the founder of this place. His sweetheart, Martha Soto, they were sweethearts for a long time. They collaborated in founding the center in LA County in 1971. He wrote the proposal for the funding of the Model City Center for Law and Justice. We had like over 20 people working at the center, people that had been in the Chicano movement with a lot of conscience, a lot of passion.
The center has been engaged in critical work on behalf of marginalized communities of color, since its inception.
I was at the Chicano Moratorium where I got gas. I was there with my wife and with my child, and we had to take refuge in the center of the Laguna Park. So I was at the Católicos por la Raza demonstration where people got beat up. I got hit in the elbow. I was part of the criminal section at the Center for Law and Justice. I made it my quest to do something about it. I got pictures on the books, a year and a half of work, but a beautiful work, not possible without the support of the center.
Well, and I think the community aspect is what always made LACLJ so strong, was that regardless of who you were or where you lived, we were all here because we saw our community and the clients that we saw. At Boyle Heights, it was a historically Jewish enclave, and it evolved with Chinese immigrants, and then it became Latino immigrants, and we try to be responsive to what the needs were, whether or not that be housing, immigration, or family law, and really tried to address what came through our door.
When I came in, we were at the Soto office. It looked like a dungeon. There used to be an immigration center there. I do know that the people who were running the agency, though, were very passionate about the work that they were doing. We're really looking to expand the organization.
We are champions of providing lawyers for survivors. Our mission is to secure justice for survivors, and we have been able to be there more, present at court hearings, present at court accompaniments. We have a huge pro bono team that jumps in and helps support our survivors and the organization, and so we've really been able to just expand the services that we're able to deliver.
My most significant memory was one of my very first clients that I had under the Teen LA program. It was a young woman. She was 14 at the time, and she had twins. She had asked the paternal grandmother, the mother of the children's father, to take care of the kids while she was trying to wrap up school. Unfortunately, what had happened was that grandmother then, behind her back, essentially went to court and secured guardianship over those children. We jumped into action, as the center always does, and filed the relevant paperwork to try to undo that guardianship case. And really happy to report that the court sided with us. They agreed with our argument, and my client was able to go home after that court hearing with the children.
I had been working on a particular form of immigration relief called a U visa, and that is a form of immigration relief that can be very important to helping folks move from this situation of being undocumented into finally getting work authorization and eventually lawful permanent residency.
The problem with domestic violence and sexual assault and human trafficking is statewide and affects many people. So we often work on legislation and work with local leaders to try to fix problems that we see in the system. So make sure that barriers are removed for survivors seeking access to justice, as well as just fixing laws that perhaps had unintended consequences.
I went up to Sacramento and had the opportunity to testify on behalf of that bill, and I had never done anything like that before, and that was my first time having that type of experience, and we were this integral part of that law passing that impacted not only survivors here in LA, but throughout the state of California.
It is a place where people are respected, and not just the staff, not just lawyers, not just paralegals. The survivors that walk in the door are highly respected.
One of the most gratifying parts of working at the center was being able to hand my business card to someone like my client and tell her, you have an attorney, you tell him when he comes to your home, I don't need to talk to you, here's this business card, talk to my attorney.
Ay, pues mi vida era un sufrir el día al día por las agresiones que sufría por parte del padre de mis dos hijos. Era maltrato, gritos y y golpes. Pues cuando yo llegué al centro me ayudó Michelle Carey. Me ayudó mucho a tramitar el inicio de mi caso. Enseguida me ayudó Jason Soto. Él me ayudó a terminar el caso y ahorita pues ya cuento con mi estatus legal permanente.
Having a team of people behind you is so amazing. I remember with our pro bono program when clients would walk into court and they'd have a whole team behind them, an attorney from the center, pro bono attorneys, a social work student. It was so incredibly empowering, I think, for our clients.
There's always more need than there is attorneys available to fill that need. So my goal is that this organization, it's a great organization, continues to expand and grow so we can provide more of those services for the people that need them.
It's really important to have not only government funding, but also private funding to really bring in additional funding for the program.
As we approach the 50th anniversary of the center, I hope that we'll be able to be nimble, to be creative, to be flexible, and to keep supporting the incredible people who are doing the work.
I hope for another 50 years. I hope for continuing growth. I hope for, expansion of awareness. I hope that we can end domestic violence and sexual assault and human trafficking. That's a lofty goal, but I'm a visionary, and I hope that the person sitting here in 50 years is looking back on our 100 years of service and the amazing work that we've done.
Ustedes cambiaron mi vida y ahora es tiempo de cambiar más vidas. Gracias.